Hello everyone, thank you for joining me today. I hope you're all doing well. I know the weather has been really crazy here in the U.S., so for those of you that have been affected by the hurricanes, I hope you're taking care of yourselves and just take one day at a time. All right? I've never been through it, so I can't imagine what you may be going through. Just hang in there. But on a lighter note, in today's video, I'm going to review the Nettuno N-E 2.0 fountain pen. These pens are part of Nettuno's 1911 collection. Nettuno states the pen is inspired by the vintage pens of the early 20th century. I have two here. I have one in fine and one in extra fine. The nibs are Bach number 6 steel nibs. In the second half of my video today, I'm going to actually go through all of my collection, my entire collection of Deltas, Nettunos, and Maioras, since they're all kind of under one umbrella, and I'll go through that a little bit of the history later also in the video. So this I purchased this one. This is Leviatano, and again this one has a fine nib. I purchased this one from Pen Chalet at the full price, which was, I think it was $188 or something like that before the discount, which I think is a pretty good, a fair price for this pen. But I lucked up and I got this from Atlas's last chance sale, and this was actually half off. So this was only $94, which is an exceptional deal. And I love the matte finishes on my pen. So whenever I can find a nice matte finished pen, I try to snap it up, especially when it, I like this body style. I'm not much of a fan of cigar-shaped pens. I do, like my Custom A23, but I really like flat top finials. And I just love the colors on this one. This one, there are two other colors, and this one stood out to me from the start, so I knew that I wanted this one in a fine. And luckily, I was able to find it on Pen Chalet. So again, this is Leviatano, has a fine. This one is extra fine. It's called Pelagos. Both pens are hand turned in Italy from solid bars of resin. So I'll show you what these look like up close. So this is the Leviatano. You can see that beautiful, it's brownish, a little gray, very shimmery with rose gold trim. So you have a rose gold band there, nothing at the end finial. Then you have these trellises here. And the clip is pretty tight, but it is usable. Tight. And there's the top finial. It just says Nettuno, and down here it says real small lettering, says 1911, and it has my number 0208. These are numbered, but I do not believe they're limited. And so here's the matte finish. Again, ruthenium trim, the trellises. You have your trellises here, then you have a ruthenium band here, another band here, and another band here. Again, nothing at the end finial. And again on the top you have Nettuno 1911 0172. And these are not blind cap. I think a good number of my Nettunos and Maioras are blind caps. This is the nib on this one. It is stained from the ink, but it is a ruthenium colored nib. There's the feed. These are cartridge converter. There's the converter, nice converter. There's a shimmer ink in here. Mix it up a little bit. I'll show you the nib on this one. It's a rose gold nib. Also a little bit stained. It takes, it takes about 1.5 turns, I think, that's one. A little over 1.5 turns to get the cap off. It does post well. So it posts pretty deeply, so it goes pretty far down, almost 2 inches, I would say. So it's very comfortable. This section does have somewhat of an extreme curve here, but for me it's pretty comfortable. No issues with cramping or anything. If you like a thicker section, then this may not be for you. The threads are super smooth. So if you wanted to bring it up here, it's very comfortable. Yeah, there's no rough edges, nothing digging into my skin or anything. Very comfortable. It's fairly lightweight. It's 35 grams. I'll put the dimension on the screen. Pretty much all of my Nettunos, Deltas, and Maioras, they look like they're big, and well, some of them are big, but they're fairly lightweight. Even my metal one is pretty lightweight. So if you're sensitive to heavy-weighted pens, I tend to like heavy pens. They don't really bother me. Then these are good offering. They're all solid pens, and they all of mine at least have lifetime warranties, which is says a lot about the quality. So here's the box that the N-E 2.0 comes in, and for the life of me, I don't know what N-E stands for. And it doesn't say, what it means on the box. I assume it means like new edition or evolution or something like that, since it said it's based on vintage pens of the early 20th century. So, but I couldn't find what N-E means. These are kind of similar in body shape to the Superba, if you're familiar with that pen. But the outer box, it says fountain pens, Italian craftsmanship for more than 40 years. And this says the same in Italian. Has this kind of a faux snakeskin interior box. It says Nettuno 1911. And this one is my Leviatano Rose Gold Fine. And came in this, and there's no ink or anything. The converter was already installed, and just information about the pen. And there's the other colors. It's the nibs come in extra fine, medium, broad, stub. Now I think this may be Maiora overall or Nettuno overall. These are only available in extra fine, flex, fine, and medium. I think this is saying that their overall line is available in extra fine up to 1.1 stub. And you see, this is talking about Maiora and Nino Marino. So Maiora and Delta and Nettuno are all currently linked to and managed by Nino Marino. Nino was the co-founder of Delta. So these companies are all linked, and that's why I'm going to do a combined collection of the three brands. So this is the other color, Anemone, which is kind of a reddish orange. That one didn't strike my fancy. There's Leviatano and Pelagos. Just the other one I have, and I think there's a blue one. Now this one I haven't seen. I haven't seen that one. Oh no, that is mine. That's Pelagos matte black with rose gold trim, and I still haven't seen that one. And there's that blue. Oh, there's a blue one. The Lhasa. And again, they have lifetime warranties, which I think is pretty good. My Mont Blancs don't have lifetime warranties. The last Mont Blanc that I bought had like a 2-year warranty. So it's pretty impressive. I haven't really had much issues with these Nettunos. I have two 1911s here. some finish issues, but really not much of an issue. So I'm going to start with some writing samples and give you my thoughts on these two. So I'm going to use my Tomoe River paper. I haven't used Tomoe River in a video in a minute, so I'm going to use this today. So for the Leviatano, this one is inked with Sailor. I finally got some Sailor Date Gokoro. Just interesting ink. It goes down one color, but then it dries to another color. So I'm just going to show you. So you can see here it's blue, but it dries to a totally different color. So as you can see, when it dries, it goes purplish, which I like. So this is the Nettuno N-E 2.0, and the colorway is Leviatano. This one is a fine. I don't think these are offered in gold and 14 or 18 karat gold. I think they're all steel. The ink, Sailor Date Gokoro. And I also have Hana Gokoro, which is pretty similar. It's a firm nib, but it does put down some more ink when you press down. Reverse. It's nice and reverse. Yeah, very nice. Pretty smooth. It does have some feedback. And it's comfortable in both of my left hand and my right hand. So that's the Leviatano fine nib with Sailor Date Gokoro. Now one thing I kind of noticed is that I can't really tell much of a difference between the fine and the extra fine. The line weight is not very, it doesn't really stand out too much to me. So see, N-E 2.0 Pelagos. Am I spelling that right? Pelagos or Pelagos? Oh, it's Pelagos. And this is an extra fine. My left hand does not like the angle that I'm writing at. I tend to have to write at an extreme angle when I'm using my left hand. And the ink in here is Diamond Spiced Apple. And this extra fine is handling the sheen in this, the shimmer, and this just fine. Again, really no flex to this pen, but it does put down extra ink. It's a little scratchier in reverse than the other, but it does work. Nice feedback. This writes really nicely. And I'm gonna like compare these lines. Maybe that's just a tad bit thinner, but I think that the variation could be just a little bit better. Yeah, you can't really tell. And I don't mind. I mean, this is like the perfect line weight for me. I don't like feeling like I bought the same pen. I do like to vary at least the color and the like a fine and a medium, or an extra fine and a fine. I really wanted to show more of a variation there than it does, but I'm okay with it because that is probably my favorite line weight. And let's show you the spiced apple before I forget. So this is part of Inkvent 2022. I didn't get 2023, but I think I'm gonna snatch up 2024 this year. Because I keep going back and finding some gems here and there. And this spiced apple and also jingleberry have turned out to be pretty good gems. It's nice shimmer, but it's not overbearing, I don't think. So there it is. You can see there. You can also see the 2 line weights. Yeah, I can't really see any difference there. I probably could grind it a little bit if I wanted to, if it was really bothering me. But like I said, because this is probably my favorite line weight, I won't bother with it. No need in messing it up. 2 perfectly good pens. So now I'm gonna give you my pros and cons. I think, like I said before, I think a big pro is the price. $188, and if you can get a discount, even less than that. And I don't know if Atlas still has any of these in their last chance. I think 94 was definitely more than worth it. Very comfortable, as I said. They're lightweight, but they're not flimsy. They're well constructed. Feels really good in the hand. Very nice writers, pleasant feedback. They post deeply. I think they look good. Like I said, multiple colors, the 4 colors, and the one, I don't know where it is, but the Pelagos with rose gold trim is another offering. They're also offered in rollerballs and ballpoints in the different colors. So something for everybody. And again, the lifetime warranty, I think, it's really great. And cons, as I said, there's not really any difference in the line weights here. So if you wanted to buy a couple of these, I would suggest getting an extra fine and a medium. There's also the flex fine, which I didn't even think about that, because I don't know if I have. Do I have? I think one of the deltas is a flex fine, but none of my Nettunos are flex, so that's an option as well. I started out using dusted truffle in this one, which I thought was a good match, but it did not like the dusted truffle. So maybe this one doesn't like shimmer, or it doesn't like that much shimmer. The dusted truffle, I think, is a little bit more intense as far as shimmer than, say, the spiced apple. So I figure if spiced apple worked in this extra fine, it should work in this one. So maybe I'll try some different shimmer at some point, but definitely not dusted truffle, or maybe I won't shake it up as well as I did. Sometimes I'll do that when I want a little bit of shimmer. But that's all for these 2. Now I'm just gonna share with you my whole Nettuno Delta Maiora collection, if I can get these organized. Hopefully you won't hear all the noise outside. It's a Sunday morning. I don't know why there's so much commotion. Everyone seems to be having a good time outside, mowing, talking, riding motorcycles. So hopefully too much of the noise won't come over in the video. But right now I'm going to go into my Nettuno, Maiora, and Delta collection. And like I said before, these are all currently linked to and managed by Nina Moreno. So I'm going to finish this video by showing all of these. Appleboom has a few interviews with Nina Moreno. He started working in the fountain pen business when he was 19. He went on to co-found Delta in 1982. Delta, as you know, was closed in 2017, but thankfully they reopened in 2022. Maiora was established a few years earlier in 1978. Nettuno goes back the farthest, being established in 1911. They were also closed for a bit, but they were revived in 2018. Currently, their pens are handmade in Italy. I do believe all of these are handmade in Italy. All of them are reportedly handmade from solid bars of resin, although these are metal pens. I think there may be some resin coating or something. And like I said, impressively, they all have lifetime warranties. So I'm going to start with my Delta. I think these Nettunos were my first purchases from the family, and then the Maioras. But I'm going to start with Delta. I think Delta is the most popular, I would say. So my first Delta was the Delta Hippocratica, which I purchased this one from, where did I purchase this from? I think I purchased it from, I don't remember, Pen Chalet maybe? I think it was Pen Chalet. There have been a few versions and releases of this, some of them with gold nibs. Maiora also currently has a Hippocratica. I think this version here is discontinued. It's a cartridge converter filler. Pretty thick section, unlike the Nettunos there. Cartridge converter again. But that's a Delta Hippocratica. I do have a very chatty review of this pen, but that's the Hippocratica. It's a Delta Duna, or Delta Dune, Blue Oasis. It's a piston filler with the blind cap. The Hippocratica does not have a blind cap. And these last two are Delta Duna Atlas exclusive, red abalone. These are piston fillers. Very beautiful pens. I liked it so much that I got two. And I also did a unboxing, a brief review of those. The Nettuno 1911, I did a review of this one as well, I think way back in the day. These do have blind caps. And they are cartridge converter. This one has ruthenium trim. And this is the one that is a little disappointing because, well, both of these are a little bit. No big deal, but the black there is rubbed off. Rubbed off here. I don't know if you can see it. See if I can put it up a little closer. See and I try to hide it with Sharpie, but you can definitely see there's some flaking of the finish on the band. These bands are fine. But I like the look of this pen. I like the feel of this pen. Very comfortable. And although it's metal, it's lightweight. And I also like the clip. It's that kind of a marine motif to it. And this is the rose gold. The rose gold has held up on the band and everything here. The only thing is the nib does have some pitting or some abrasions there. You see there's some pitting, some discoloration right there. But they function fine. Just some cosmetic stuff. And I've had these for quite a while. I bought these early in my journey, and I think this one may be my first one. I liked it so much that I got the other one. And you've already seen these two Nettunos N-E 2.0, Maiora Imprante, also numbered but not limited. I love this pen so much, the way it wrote, but early on the clip broke. It just snapped off. And I just loved the way it wrote so much that I just did not want to take any chances. I did not want to return it. I didn't ask for a different cap. I just I'll just super glue it. With me, everything is super glue. That worked for a minute, then it popped off, and then I went through several tries of soldering it. So right now it's soldered. I did have to clean it up a little bit, so it is a little scuffed, but I'm not afraid of using it. I don't use it. I don't use the clip, but it's on and it's solid and it's perfect. Perfect for me, at least. I think most people have sense enough to just send it back, but I was just so enamored with the way it wrote. I didn't want to mess up the mojo, broken clip and all. And this Maiora, this is also an Imprante. This is a Trufe exclusive. I think they made 250 of these. I'm not sure what number I have, but yeah, it's 250. Trufe exclusive, and this is totally, I got this from their collector's box. So this is not a pen that I would have ever ordered because I do not like cracked ice. The only two cracked ice pens that I have in my collection are from the Trufe exclusive box. But I'm also very happy to have both of them because I love the way they write. And I just block out the fact that I don't like the way they look. My other one is the LaBouffe Pilgrim, which is quite a bit even uglier than this one. But I just love the way they write. So I can see here I have number 93 of 250. And I can show you, can't forget this one. How could I forget this one? And this one is a treasure. This one is quickly becoming one of my favorite pens. This is made of ebonite. This is the Maiora Liberta Pulsar, and this is quickly becoming one of my favorites. It's made of ebonite, which is one of my favorite materials. It's a piston filler with a blind cap. This was handmade in Naples and is part of the Nino Marino signature collection. Has a 14 karat gold nib, and it's one of one. There are other models with different nibs and different colors, but there's only one made in the Pulsar colorway. It doesn't, I've tried to smell it, there's really no ebonite smell to it, but yeah, I love this pen. I love the size of it. I love the way it feels. Again, threads are super smooth. It's just one of those pens I just feel extremely grateful to have. So I'm going to show you how these all wrote. I'm not going to write them. I'm going to show you how they look here. So this is the Hippocratica. This is how it looks, and this is Midori paper, and it's inked with ancient copper, and I think that looks pretty good. I think ancient copper it's pretty much going to stay in that pen. Delta Duna Blue Oasis. Now the Duna Blue Oasis is inked right now with Monteverde Ice Cookie. I did have Monteverde California Teal in here, which I think I'll go back to. This nib I think needs a little bit of sandpaper to it, and I think it'll be perfect. If it's a little skippy, feels a little too smooth, maybe a little baby's bottom or something, but this is the Hippocratica is a fine. This one is a flex fine. You can see it has pretty nice line weight variation there. But that's the Delta Duna. It's a nice ink window, nice big ink window. Again, it's numbered, but I don't think it's limited. This is Delta Italy. It's a pretty. It does look very oceany. They did a good job with the ocean theme. You look like you have sand there and then the ocean. And it's pretty translucent. And then we have the two red abalone from Atlas Stationers. These are probably my favorite Delta Dunas. So I think this one is the Fine. And this is inked with Venta Lock Bay. The Venta Lock Bay has a lot of shimmer, but it's handled it pretty well, I think. And this is again a Fine. No ink window on this one. Be useful because I've run out of ink in this one a lot. This is the red abalone and extra fine. And you see how different the resins look. And these are limited edition. So this is 170. I'm sorry, this is 079 out of it's a 150. And this one is, it's harder to see on this one. It looks like a 009 of 150. I think I mentioned the numbers in my previous video. But this one has Wearing Gull, a little bit of 1984, and a little bit of Queen of Hearts, some remnants of Queen of Hearts. I love the Wearing Gull 1984. So there you have those. Yeah, the extra fine, this extra fine is probably my favorite of the four, followed by the Hippocratica, and then this one, and then the Duna Blue Oasis. Now the Nettuno. So the rose gold one. This one was in last month's Curly Inked. And this is still inked with Noodler's Black Swan and Australian Roses, which this pen loves. And I love the combination. And this is a fine still nib. Next we have the 1911 Black Sand with the black trim, and this is a medium. And this is inked with Monteverde Aeronite, which I inked it with just for this video, and has quite a bit of you can definitely see the difference between this fine and this medium. But yeah, also very nice pen. I really like these 1911s. And I don't think any other than this one, none of these pens are super expensive. I mean, it's all relative, but the Hippocratica may have been a little pricey, but really none of these. And on Midori paper, this is the Leviatano with the Sailor Date Kokoro. Beautiful, beautiful ink, and it works really nice in this pen. Yeah, I really like that combination. And the Spice Apple and the Pelagos, also very nice. Now, of course, there's no matchy, but it just this ink feels excellent in this. And hopefully I can find a bottle of Spice Apple. I think I want a whole bottle of that. I still have a little bit in here, but I think I'm going to want a whole bottle of Spiced Apple. Spiced Apple is right up my alley. And now we're going to get into the Maioras. I have just the three. The Emprunte, my first Maiora. This is a medium. It is a medium. It's a medium steel nib. I have this inked. I just inked this yesterday for the video with Monteverde Azure Noir, which is kind of a grayish, bluish black. And it says here, handmade in Italy. And my soldering there, but it's tight. It's not going anywhere. It probably doesn't, it's not strong, definitely not strong, but it's not going to pop off anymore. So I think that's a pretty good match, I think. Azure Noir. And my Maiora Emprunte, the True Fake exclusive. I think this one is just a tad bit bigger than the other one because I struggled to get this out. Let me see. Yeah, it is. They're both in Prontes, but this one is a little oversized. And again, I inked this one up just for this video with Monteverde Rose Noir. And it's number 93 of 250. Again, there's no matchy-matchy, but the Monteverde Noir series is one of my favorite series of inks. Pretty much goes good in anything. And last but not least is the Liberta Pulsar. And this has only been inked with Waterman Inspired Blue. I wanted to put a gentle ink in it, which I tend to do with my more cherished or more expensive piston fillers, because I have no idea how to repair a piston filler. So I tend to put in Waterman inks because they're known to be gentle. You see the beautiful ink window. And there are really no markings on this pen other than, I think back here it says Pulsar and 1 of 1. It says Pulsar. So this is the nib. Show you while I'm over here. I think the N is for Nino. And the only marking on this pen is right here. It says Pulsar and 1 of 1, which you can barely see. I guess they just kind of want to let the pen speak for itself, which I think was a good idea. So this is the way it looks. It does put down very good line weight variation there. It's a bit of a springy nib, you know, being 14 karat gold. It's not a flex nib. You see it railroads, but it does put down some line weight variation if you need it. Again, Waterman Inspired Blue. Not a matchy-matchy, but pretty good combo. So that's this is probably like an hour-long video, but I want to do like these little collection. I can't do my whole entire collection in one video. It's going to be super long, but I kind of want to do like little families, collection families. So I thought this was a good opportunity to do that since I was reviewing these two. So hopefully my video won't be too long. But thank you all for sticking with me. I hope this video was informative. If you have any questions about any of these pens, feel free to put it in the comment section, or you can email me. My email address is on my YouTube page somewhere, so feel free to email me or put it in the comment section, and I'll get back to you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all the positive vibes and for sticking with me. So until next time, everyone take care. Thanks for watching.